Okay, so we're going to talk about how to find the equation of a line, and you can use this video to help you finish or check your worksheet that says write the equation of each line at the top. So the first thing that you're going to have is a graph. So if we're writing the equation of a line, we need to know a couple things. We need to know, A, what the equation of a line is. So if you think back to the first unit of the year, we talked a whole lot about y equals mx plus b. Okay, y equals mx plus b. That's the equation of a line. So within that equation, we have to find two things. One is the slope, so that will be m, and the other is the y-intercept. Y-intercept, okay? So the y-intercept is where your line on the graph crosses the y-axis. So if you look at your graph, you can see where the y-axis is. It's labeled with a y. So I'm just going to go down till I see where our line crosses that axis, and I'm going to circle it. And then I'm going to look for the coordinates of that point. So I look at my x value. My x value is 0. So I'm going to put b, and I'm going to put the coordinates as 0. And then my y value is -2. So the coordinates of my y-intercept are 0, -2. Now your y-intercept is actually only that y value, so your y-intercept is -2. So now that we have the y-intercept, the other thing that we need to find, so I'm actually just going to check off y-intercept. The other thing that I need to find is the slope. So you remember that slope is represented by the letter m. Okay, so we know that equation is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that should usually be given to you. That's not something that you need to remember. All right, so to find slope, we need to have 2 points. We've already identified one as our y-intercept, so we can use that as one of our points. Remember, we said that's 0, -2. So now I need to find another point. So I'm just going to look for a point where my line crosses like a set of crosshairs. See how there's some crosshairs there? Because that'll be easier to identify what that point is. So I'm going to choose this point right here. And you can see that the coordinates of that point, the x value is 5 and the y value is 0. So now you have your 2 points to find slope. So remember, when we find slope, our very first step is to label. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So I've labeled my points. And then I'm just going to plug them into our slope equation. So my y2 value is 0, and then I've got a minus sign, and my y1 value is -2. And then my x2 value is 5, and my x1 value is 0. So you can either remember that a negative and a negative gives you a positive, or you can put that in your calculator. So you'd be 0 minus, and then you'd have to pick the little negative sign, which is by the decimal point, and then 2. So 0 minus -2 is +2. 5 minus 0 is 5. So our slope here is 2/5. The only thing left for us to do is to plug what we know into our equation. So we don't need to write anything for y, but we know our slope is 2/5. We don't have anything for x. And our y-intercept, our b, is -2. And that's the equation of your line. So here are the steps that you need to remember in writing the equation of the line. So step 1, find your y-intercept. Remember, it's going to be a coordinate, 0, some number. That number is going to be your b value in the equation. Step 2, pick 2 points. And remember that what you use for your y-intercept can count as 1 point. So really, you just need to pick one other point. Step 3, label the points, x1, y1, x2, y2. Step 4, plug into slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And then step 5, plug your m and b into the equation of a line, y equals mx plus b. And those are your 5 steps.